Hello guys and welcome back to the channel again. Today I'm giving you my first impressions on Marvel Avengers on Xbox One X. Quick bit of background. I love Marvel, I love Avengers, I love Crystal Dynamics as a studio. So I was really excited to get my hands on this. I haven't played the beta. I've tried to stick away from any kind of spoilers. I did do a stream last night and I just want to tell you my impressions on the game. If you want to catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Milezee, and I stream every day other than Tuesdays and Sundays. Okay, so the first thing I would say is that the load screens, by the way, when you load the game for the first time after or during your next session, it does take a long time to load. And when you die as well, which is really frustrating at times. Just wanted to get that out, straight out there, because if you're not a fan of long load times, you might be disappointed straight away. So as you can see here, we're currently not at the beginning of the game. This is a little bit further in after the introduction to all of the characters, and we're playing as Bruce Banner. And I have to say straight off the bat that the graphics in this game are fantastic. Now I do feel like they built this ready for the next gen consoles. Why do I say that? Well, because you can tell just by the rumble on your controller. The haptic feedback that's on the PlayStation 5, for example, is really going to make use of this game, I think, because this controller doesn't stop rumbling. It's constantly rumbling. Even when you're walking, you can feel slight rumbles in the controller. Now that's cool. It's very immersive. I can imagine the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, even though we don't really know what their controllers will be like in terms of rumble, but yeah, I can imagine it being quite good, hopefully, fingers crossed. Actual mechanics of the game kind of feels a bit like an old school superhero game. It's very reminiscent of, say, the old Spider-Man games on the PlayStation. That's the way that the combat is. It's, light attack, heavy attack, dodge, and you'll have like a special ability once you build up your bar. Now there are a lot of cutscenes as well that I've noticed. And the one main frustration with this game for me is that you initially play as none of the Avenger characters, right? You play as Kamala for a good chunk of the beginning of the game. You do get a chance to play as each Avenger on the intro, on the Golden Gate Bridge, which was a really great moment, but then it just kind of dulls into this long intro for Kamala, and to be honest, I just wanted to play as an Avenger. And we're finally doing that at this point. This isn't that far into the actual game, so I'm looking forward to seeing more Avengers gameplay. There's lots of those moments where you have to quickly tap buttons, and that's become very common in games these days. And it's a little bit frustrating. It's just such an old mechanic that I feel like it's just become a bit boring now. They could have done something else, something a bit more interesting than just quickly mash X, quickly mash Y, and that's that. The graphics really do have a mixture about them. A lot of the actual greenery and sort of like the further away depth of field stuff looks fantastic, but then when you come closer to the water, it's not all that great. So the textures do differ from time to time, but I have to say the frame rate has held up quite significantly well, and you can actually at times notice a lot of motion blur. Now that might put again a lot of you off of this game, but I think it adds to the kind of immersion that you're moving very quickly.
Dr. Banner, what do I do?
In terms of enemies so far though, I've noticed that we are pretty much seeing the same things, and that's another problem. There is a moment with Taskmaster, which was a really great fight. Here we go, another mashing X here, look. Which is just quick button mashes. It just, I don't know, I don't like them. I don't like games that do that sometimes. And this game uses that a lot. However, the abilities, there's definitely some kind of like learning curve to learn what all the buttons do and what combination buttons do. You can get some awesome combos going, but at times it can feel a little bit samey with combat. If you're not really interested in trying to mix up your combat, it might feel a bit samey. You really need to learn what the buttons do, what the powers do, and what the best situation is for different moves. So yeah, the only other thing I would say is that the items you collect to upgrade your heroes do nothing cosmetically. Now that was one of the biggest complaints and one of the biggest worries I had coming into the game. It really bothered me that you were just you were just upgrading Hulk's rib cage, and it just seems bizarre to me that was the case. But the combat is fun, as you can see. Lots of motion blur, very fast paced. Does feel like very immersive. It feels like you're doing a lot of damage as Hulk. And I think Hulk so far has been my favourite hire in combat, just because he's so brutal and he can pick things up. It's just a lot of fun, as you can see. I'm having a lot of fun right now. Now the enemies are very generic, like I said. They feel very samey throughout, which is a shame. But I hope as they move forward, they are able to add new villains and new kind of enemies to fight. I haven't even touched on the multiplayer yet, and I just died. But as you can see, the loading screens, they're quite lengthy, and that is a problem. Hopefully with the new consoles though, the hardware will actually eliminate that issue. I look forward to seeing what that does. So as you can see guys, that was my first impressions on the Avengers, and let me know down in the comment section what you thought of the game. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you not going to pick this up? Are you going to pick it up? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of my thoughts as the game progresses, you can head over on Twitch and find me there. With that being said guys, I'll see you real soon with the next one. Game on.